Hey Inspirators, it's Inspiring Vanessa here and welcome back to another wonderful interview for all of you. I am super excited for my guest on today's interview today, but first of all I just want to check up on you guys. How have you guys been doing? Today was kind of like my first proper first day back at school. That was a bit of a tongue twister, but today was my first kind of final day back at school, which is really fun. I'm very grateful that I get to see my friends again. So I hope you have been kind of trying to swiftly move in to some sort of normality. That you guys have been doing well. Hi Sienna, hi Essence, thank you all so much for tuning in today. So speaking of my guest for today's interview, I had the amazing Nia the Light. She's a content creator. She's got the most amazing curly hair you've ever seen. She's an upcoming author. Her book is coming out actually in April, which is really exciting, and she's the CEO of the CurlBar London. So we're going to be talking all about her career, about what she does, and feel free to send in any of your questions during the interview, either just in the comments box or using the little questions icon, and maybe if we have time we can go through some of them at the end. But without further ado, I'm going to bring Nia onto this interview and then we can just jump into our first question.
Hey girl,
Hi!
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I mean, first of all, you look stunning already. The whole
Thank
background.
you.
I mean, obviously your hair is always looking, luxurious, as always.
Thank you,
How's your
girl.
day been?
It's been nice. I can't talk about it, but I did like the biggest thing I've ever done in my life today. So my energy is on a high. So I'm really good. But thank you for having me on your show. How are you doing?
I mean, of course, it's an honor to have you. I'm doing really well. I had kind of smooth day at school, which was good. I think I had an art lesson today, which was nice. So first thing in the morning to kind of, relax, a bit of like a therapeutic session in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really nice.
And you're in year 9, right? Or year 10?
Year 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so things are going, I guess, fast, but not really, because they're focusing obviously on year 11s more right now because of their GCSEs. But you never know what's going to happen. Just fingers crossed everything will kind of run smoothly, educational wise, anyways.
Yeah.
But that sounds amazing. I know you can't say anything, but we can't wait to see what that announcement will be when you do get to share it to all of us.
Thank you,
we're just going to jump into our first question, which is, what inspired you with the idea of the CurlBar?
Wow, so I mean, you have curly hair, so I'm sure you'll very much relate to this, but when I was your age, which makes me sound old, I'm only like 9 years older than you, but when I was your age, there was no Instagram, there was no like YouTube. There was YouTube, but not like a curly hair world, for me to learn about my hair. So I just thought, where can I go? And all the places were in America or Brazil or just super far. And then I just, remembered my younger self and so many other younger women just like you. And I just thought, okay, if no one's going to do this and create a CurlBar, then it's going to be me. So, I mean, that's a long story short, but I just wanted to create something that I would have wanted growing up, and something that is more than just getting your hair done, but it's a safe space, it's an experience, and it just makes people feel good, which I hope I'm doing, but I've loved the journey.
I mean, we're very grateful that UFC came up with this idea, because it is really important to kind of have that representation and to be like, well, actually, you can love your curly hair, and there are other people who also have the same struggles as you do with your hair, and it's okay to feel that way, and it's okay to also, be comforted by everybody else, which is a great atmosphere for sure. What would you say has been your best testimony of feedback from the CurlBar?
I think it's probably seeing like kids as young as 6 to women as old as 60 coming in and feeling good about themselves, especially such huge ends of the spectrum. So a 5-year-old or 6-year-old being like, oh, I don't like my hair, and then they see me with big hair and they see the wall of women who also have hair like them, and my stylist, my receptionist, and they're like, wow, and they're so excited, and they leave like, you know, so confident and just wanting to have their hair out. And then also seeing women who are much older than me, older than my mom, and they feel so empowered, and they want me to big chop their hair, and they want to learn to love their curls again. So I mean, I think that for sure, but the first moment that comes to mind is probably a woman called Norma Jean, and I think she's in her 50s, if I'm correct, or late 40s. And she originally came in just for a consultation, but she was straightening her hair for years. And I ended up big chopping her hair on the spot. Oh, wow. And now, she was a part of my book video that I shot 2 weeks ago. But now seeing her with her short hair, and it's growing, and she just loves like her curls, and she's much older than me, is amazing. And I just love seeing her like every month when she comes in for her steam or her treatment, and she's just so confident, and she just is so alive and so empowered. So that's the first one that came to mind for me.
I mean, that sounds amazing, and it just shows like the age doesn't matter. You can learn to love your hair any age, and it's never too late to learn to be confident in your natural hair, which is brilliant for sure. And obviously, as I really can see, you do have gorgeous hair, but have you always been confident in your hair? And if not, what was that kind of turning point?
So from as young as 3 up until 11, I would relax my hair. And when I was 11, I big chopped, but I was still straightening my hair up until I was in year 10. That's when I big chopped it for the second last time, because then I ended up big chopping 3 years ago with the whole thing off. But when I was 15, I then said, I'm going to embrace my curls and stop straightening completely. But I didn't love my hair because I grew up in a predominantly white area, so everyone around me had straight hair. And for me, I thought, okay, well, why am I the only one with curls? Like, hello, I need to fit in too. So that was my perspective. But now I don't care where I am or who I'm around. I'll always embrace, you know, me, because I can't let, you know, my surroundings change that.
I mean, that shows, I think, a lot. I mean, if you looked at your hair, you'd think, well, she's never cut it before, she's never, you know, relaxed her hair before. So it really does show kind of the beauty of, I guess, curly hair journeys. But at the same time, it's sad to hear that, obviously, like yourself, from a very young age, a lot of people begin kind of relaxing their hair from when they were really little. And that kind of shows that we need more curly representation and more people kind of admiring curly hair rather than kind of, I guess, suppressing it, for sure. What tips would you give to somebody who wants to feel confident in their natural hair?
I think the best thing to do would be to love the hair you have, which is obviously easier said than done, but I find that often people compare their hair and say, I want tighter curls like her or looser curls like her, and then that kind of delays the progress of hair love and self-love. So loving the hair you have and just building a routine for yourself. So whether it's deep conditioning once a week, or it's thoroughly cleansing your hair, or investing in good products, you know, it's a really fun journey, and there's so many things you could do with curls. I mean, if I was to straighten my hair, I'd look like a completely different person. If I was to braid it, if I was to leave it wet and have the wet look, if I was to put it in a space buns, like, you can have so much fun with your hair. So just enjoy the journey and just have fun with it.
It can be very versatile, and I think that's so fun, and we can really just kind of use that to our advantage. And yeah, especially with when you straighten your hair, even though we are very big like kind of natural hair advocates, sometimes you do kind of want to see yourself with straight hair once in a while, and people do not recognize you. It's the funniest thing. It's like, whoa. It's just a complete massive change, because your hair kind of becomes a part of your identity, and when people kind of see that switch, it makes a massive difference. But those all sound like brilliant tips, so thank you for sharing that as well. My next question is, what does representation mean to you?
I think representation is kind of word without using the word in it, but I think it's ultimately sharing everyone. I think, you know, it's crazy how only now, when you go into shops, we're starting to see like unretouched images, or girls with acne, or we're seeing a campaign that features an Asian woman, a dark-skinned woman, to a Caucasian woman all in one, whereas before it was like, you would be lucky if you went in Boots and saw a girl with curly hair or a black woman. So I think representation is just sharing the beauty of everyone and making it normal, not making it a big deal that a brand has shared everyone. Like, why haven't we been doing that? So I think that's what it is for sure. Well, in my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think your perspective is definitely agreeable, 100%. And yeah, especially with normalizing it, it's kind of like you see a massive brand, you know, have, I don't know, a dark-skinned woman as the main face of their campaign, and they get so much praise for it when it really is, if you think about it, the bare minimum. We should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to normalize that and not make it, even though it is a massive deal, it shouldn't be. It should never have been. It should have always been the same and equal for everybody from the start. But I definitely agree with you. So fingers crossed, the media industry, beauty industry, that will kind of learn to be normalized and grow from that, because it obviously isn't only just one beauty standard. There are so many different versions in all our different heads, so that should really be shown more, for sure. So obviously you are a content creator, but you are also an upcoming author. So your book is called The Book of Light. Yes. I love the name, by the way.
Thank you.
It's coming out in April of this year. So what do you want readers to take away from the book?
I have it next to me, so I'll show you. But it's obviously very simple, like when you look at it on the outside. So I know ultimately people are going to be surprised when they open it, but I think following up with representation, in the book I've tried to feature everyone I could think of. There's a woman who has survived cancer, to a woman who is transgender. There's a woman, or a person who's transgender rather, and then there is a woman who wears a hijab, to a woman who has an amputated leg. Like, there's literally every kind of person that I tried to think of in the book, and it's illustrated, so I was able to have fun with that and bring the book to life. But yeah, when you like look through, there's so many images, and it's so colorful, but obviously on the outside it's so simple, but I love that. So I'm very, very excited. It's 3 weeks today actually that it comes out, so not long left.
Oh, I mean, that is amazing. And obviously, yeah, that's just great that obviously it's a kind of like a picture book as well. You get a bit of a mix of both worlds, which I think is really going to keep people engaged in the book especially. But it's great to kind of see different perspectives from different types of people, which is brilliant. What kind of gave you the idea for the name of it?
Goodness me. Well, obviously my brand name is Nia the Light, and when we were doing it with my graphic designer, the name was actually the last thing we did, because I didn't know what I was going to call it. And even with the CurlBar, like, I've every time I've done something, I've never really sat down and been like, okay, let me do a variety of names and picked my favorite one. It's just always come to me. So I think even though my brand name is Nia the Light, the book is so refreshing from my perspective. It's so refreshing and so enlightening. So ultimately, by making it something that gives you this ray of joy and just makes you want to embark on that journey of self-love, I just thought it was really fitting, and also very simple as well. So yeah.
I mean, completely agree with you. I mean, the kind of idea of light is like symbolism of hope, and that's really so special. And obviously, it does match with your kind of brand name as well. So everything just kind of smoothly kind of links together with each other, which I love. So I can't wait to read the book and get it when it comes out, because it sounds like it's going to be definitely impactful to a lot of different people. So kind of moving away from your book and you being an author, why did you create Happy Fro Day? Can you explain to us what that is and why you created it?
I was in my local town. I just finished year 11. It was like a Friday after school. We used to go to the town and go to McDonald's and see all the boys. So that was our little entertainment. And I was walking down the street and there was a boy, and at the time I was the only one like in my friendship group or whatever who had big curls, but I used to comb out my hair, so I didn't have my curls. I was just fro. So I remember him being like, "Oh, you've got your fro on a Friday," and I was like, "Fro on a Friday," and I was like, "Fro Day," and then all my friends were like, "That's really cool." And I didn't start Happy Fro Day until I was in sixth form, but I think in year 13 for year 12. I can't remember. But I wanted it to just be for my media project. So I wanted to film a documentary about natural hair. And in school, I made everything about natural hair. Like anytime my teacher was like, write an essay, I would be like, the power of natural hair, what natural hair represents.
As
like,
you should.
And my teachers would be like, oh my God, can you talk about something else? And I'm like, no. So I remember for media, we had to make a magazine, and I wanted to, you know, take images of women with their natural hair together. But that was going to be a very difficult task, going into the city and asking women that I don't know, or even finding women. Like, you know, it would have to be a very good day to do that at that time. So I thought to myself, why not do an event where I, you know, film everything for school, I take images and everyone's together, so it makes my life 10 times easier. So I did the event in Hyde Park, and like maybe 50 people or 40 people came, and then the images went viral. And then my mum said that I could go to New York as a treat. I think, oh yeah, because I did really well in my A-levels, or I think it was like my first year of A-levels. So she was like, you can go to New York and spend time with your auntie. So I then, you know, was like, okay, I'm going to New York. I'm going to do another Happy Friday in, what's New York's version of Hyde Park?
Central Park.
Central Park, there we go.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me go to Central Park and do the same thing. And the images went viral again. Then the next year I was like, let me do another event. People were, you know, asking like, oh, can you do another one? And I ended up traveling by myself at 18 to LA with no family, like no one. And I did a whole like event in Griffith Park, which is their version of Central Park and Hyde Park. And I had brands sponsor it, and everyone got gift bags. And from then I just carried on doing events. So it happened. Everything I've always done has always happened naturally. It's never been driven by money or, you know, greed. It's always been just because I want to do it and just because it's fun, and I just love bringing people together. So Happy Friday was like my first baby. I don't do it anymore because obviously I opened a salon, and it's been crazy just juggling everything. And then I went to university, so it was really hard for me to juggle everything. But if God willing, when, let me not say if, when the pandemic ends, I will do another one for sure, because they're so much fun. Like the last ones I did, there was like a venue of 200 people, and it was in New York, and like everyone was just dancing, and all you would see was just hair everywhere. Like if you were to stand on a chair and look down, you're just seeing literally a whole carpet of hair. And then in LA, like I remember a really good memory was I stood on top of like a desk and I threw towels at everyone and free products, and I was like, you get a towel, and you know, like just having fun with women. And even in London, doing the same thing but over brunch and, you know, good drinks. So I can't wait to do another one, but even bigger and even better.
I mean, that sounds just brilliant. I think it's so interesting how it kind of became this small idea, and then it just kind of grew to this massive kind of level. And it really just make a community of people, especially globally as well, in these different central parks in different places. Is super cool to hear. But yes, definitely when the pandemic finishes, I think we will
not
all
if, when.
When is a very, very good thing to mention and to put out there. When the pandemic finishes, I think we will all be definitely wanting to go to those, you know, just get a massive just gain of positive energy after everything that's happened. It will be a very nice kind of breath of fresh air, for sure. But that sounds
I hope to see you there
brilliant.
With your amazing interview skills.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd love to go. Yes, for sure. It sounds like an amazing atmosphere of just brilliant people, especially. My final question is, what could we be expecting from yourself in the future?
I'm currently working on something, and it's something that everyone's always wanted from me. So yeah, that's all I can say. That's
all we can say.
But yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's probably one of the like most challenging things I've ever done, but it's gonna be very rewarding, and it makes so much sense. So that's all I can say. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. And people are trying to guess. Someone said a podcast. It's not a podcast. But yeah, you'll see very, very soon.
Oh, I'm super excited to see what that's going to be. For sure, we're all kind of on the edge of our seats, like, what is it? Everyone just guessing in the comments and everything. But yes, for sure, we'll definitely be excited to see how that kind of process was. Obviously, after everything has been finally revealed, especially too. Somebody commented down below, would you ever go blonde again? What was that like with your curly hair?
No way. Well, if I do, like, I'll need someone to honestly come to my house and be like, why? Because it was so damaging. Like, it looked amazing, but I suffered. Like, I would literally have to deep condition my hair like all the time.
Oh my god.
Because it was so dry, it was so fried, and now my hair, obviously I big chopped it and now it's grown up, but the curls look so different to when it was blonde. Like, they're more healthier. So I would add some like light brown highlights, like in the more low lights, but I would not go blonde. Oh my god, no way. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Where did the idea kind of even come from? Because I know my mum has kind of sworn me to never ever bleach my hair, and I completely agree with her because I'd be really scared to kind of lose my hair texture. But what was that kind of
it was
process
a transition,
like, thinking about it? Because that must have been scary.
Yeah, but it was a transition. So at first I was dyeing my hair myself, and I was just doing it on the ends, and then every time I'd go to the hair salon and I'd go to New York to get my hair done, they would be like, okay, let's add some more, and I used to be a brand ambassador for a company in America, so they used to fly me there just to get my hair done. So I think the last time I had so many highlights, and then they were like, let's go blonde. I was in LA at the time, and it was so blonde, but it was beautiful. Like, it was honestly so beautiful and so vibrant, and when the sun would hit it, like, my hair would be like this big, it would be huge. But then a month later, it was like, help me, I need moisture, I need hydration, I need everything. And I wasn't giving it to it because I went traveling for like 3 months. So, it was dead and it was lifeless. I remember like combing through it and it would just be weak and brittle. So yeah, I would not do it again. I'm so sorry. I saw someone say I put them off. I'm very sorry. But if you're going to go blonde, do it in stages, but just be prepared that you will need to devote so much time to looking after it. If you don't have that time, don't do it. For sure.
Yes, a massive learning curve in the curly hair journey, for sure. So I think it's good that people kind of understand to not do that if you do have lovely natural curly hair.
Yeah.
So anybody has any more questions for Nia, then leave them down below. How long did it take you to write your book?
So initially I first started writing it in 2017, and then but it was literally just a few lines, like it wasn't anything. And then I pitched it to my old manager, and the companies were like, no, she can do better. So I literally went and did exactly that. And then in 2018, the end of the year, I went to my current manager and I was like, I want to, write a book, and they introduced me to someone. But I had already did a few pages and illustrations because I wanted to have something to show. And I got the book deal in May 2018, and then my deadline to write the book, to finish the book, was November. So it took a few months, but at first, when you're writing the book, at first I did it with the illustrations and it was artsy-fartsy, but they were like, no, we need it all in a Word document, and we need like 12,000 words or 15,000 words. I can't remember the exact word count. And I just typed my life away. So it took a hot second, but it was worth it. It is worth it for sure.
I mean, learning how people write their books and the process of it always sounds very fascinating, yet very, very long, but it's obviously worth it in the end. We've got a few questions in the comments, and somebody said, what are your best deep conditioners? My ends are blonde and so dry.
So if the ends are dry, then you need to trim them, because the ends are your oldest part of your hair. If you think about when they were first here and now they're here, that's, they're very old, so you need to trim them. That's the first thing. And then my favorite deep conditioners, I would say Aveda's what's it called? Nutri-Plenish line. I'm currently using Living Proofs collection. So they have a conditioner, which is really, really good. And they also have a deep conditioner, not from the curl line, but another range. And then I would say Miel Organics, they have a Babasu conditioner, and they are black owned. So if you want to support a black owned brand, yeah, those are the top 3 that came to mind. Someone said you look like you're my. It looks like you're my daughter.
Oh wow! I mean, thank you. Maybe probably sisters.
I would have had to have had you when I was 9 years old if you were my daughter.
Because of the hair, perhaps. But thank you.
Yeah.
That is a massive compliment. But yes, definitely, that's a thing I've never thought about. The fact that when your hair, your ends go from here to here, and that's how old they are.
Yeah.
That
So
definitely...
these ends are probably like 3 years old, 2 years old. That's old. But they're still sailing through. Look at that definition.
Nice and healthy for sure. Somebody said, please give us hair growth tips. How did you go from your big chop to where you are now?
Well, it's been 3 years, so I hear this question every day, and they're like, how did you grow your hair so fast? I'm like, it's been 3 years, that's a long time. But I didn't do anything intentional to grow my hair. People get upset when I then follow through with the answer. But hair growth is internal, so if your hair's growing from the inside out, you need to work on what's inside. Whether that's your diet, whether that's taking vitamins, whether it's eating millions of avocados and getting that protein, whatever it is, but work on the inside out.
A very, very good tip. Somebody said, what's in her hair right now? It looks so good.
Thank you. It's the Living Proofs curl collection. So I did post a tutorial on my IGTV a few days ago. So it's the last brand that is there, but it's really good. I've been using them for like 2 months now, and I love the results every time.
You've got the volume and the definition, which is a great combo to have for sure.
Girl.
Somebody said, did you do all the illustrations in the books yourself?
No, I didn't. But I did sit through each one and tell my illustrator what I wanted. And sometimes I'd do stick figures and be like, can you do this? So I'll show you guys one of them. Actually, one of them is of me, but if you just tell me when to stop, and then I'll just pick that one. You ready?
Okay. Yeah. Stop.
This one's not the most, I shouldn't say that about my book, but it's not the most exciting one. But this one, I'm talking about my goals. Well, not my goals, but just everyone having their own goals. And it's a woman that is at her desk, and she wants to be a ballerina, but she's working a 9 to 5, and she's just not like satisfied. But what I did was, obviously I'd write, everything, and then I'd take key words from each part and then say, okay, I want the illustration to be this. So some of them I used the words to inspire me, and then some of them I already knew, like I wanted a girl with back knee, or for instance, there's a chapter about relationships, and I wanted, a boy and a girl. So this is one of my favorites for sure. I'll just show this.
Oh, wow. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I really love this one. But this is actually inspired by a video I did, and I have bunny ears. So I just took like extracts from my own brand and then added a twist to it.
So that's so interesting. So you kind of had your vision on some of them, then the words kind of just got actually illustrated, which is really, really cool. This final question is any tips for gaining motivation to get work done?
Wow. Well, you have to think about the end goal. My head teacher in school, I was saying to my best friend that I stay quoting my head teacher, her assemblies. That is so annoying. But she always used to say, begin with the end in mind. So, when my goal was to open a salon, at first I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to do it. Like, I've never done that before. I don't know anyone around me that I can ask for help. So every time it was hard, or, I just felt stuck, I just would think about the end goal. And the end goal for me was always this like outfit in a suit, and my hair was big, and I was cutting the ribbon to open the shop. I didn't cut the ribbon in the end, but I did wear a fly suit, and I had a launch party. But I'll just always say, anytime you're stuck and you just don't feel motivated, think about the end goal. Why do you want to achieve this? Why should you keep pushing? But also listen to your body. If you're tired, you're tired. And if you need energy to give you that source of motivation, sometimes don't force it. Just keep going.
That is so special. Yes, begin with end in mind. Wow. And it's amazing that you got to kind of pursue, I guess, like your vision board idea is what I like to say it, and actually kind of live that through. Taking away from the ribbon part, because I feel like we all have that kind of special moment in the movies where people have a jumbo scissors and they cut the ribbons, but it's obviously amazing that you got to accomplish that. We just have one last question, which is, can you make a tutorial on how to cut your hair in layers, please?
Nope. The thing is, I don't want to upload videos on cutting hair, because if someone was to follow my advice and they butcher their hair because maybe they cut too much or they went in at a wrong angle, I will end up to blame, and I don't want that. I don't want that energy.
Very true.
So I'm so sorry, but please try not to cut your hair by yourself. Like, obviously I can do it because I have a salon, like I know what I'm doing, but if you don't know scissors like that and you don't know angles, you don't know all of that jazz, please don't. Just go see a professional. Like, I've seen all the butchered cuts when people have done their DIY jobs. So exactly, come to the CurlBar. There you go.
Yes.
For sure.
The best option to take, because obviously when you are trying to cut your hair, your curls might spring up in different ways, which is obviously why it can look butchered or, you know, uneven in some areas.
Especially if you have different curl patterns. So like you can see here it's more loose and here is tight. So if I was to, you know, say, oh, I'm going to cut like this much off here and then I apply the same thing there, I'll end up with no hair here. And this will obviously spring up, but yeah, I'm not. Sorry, that everyone always asks me, but I'm not doing that. That's the one thing you won't see.
And we're doing it for the benefit of your hair. It's not a personal thing. It's just for the benefit of your hair.
And my sanity. I'm not trying to have any documentation in the post about you told me to cut my hair like this, and now it's like
this is what it looks like.
No way.
But it's a very valid point. I don't think a lot of us kind of think about that in the way your hair is kind of measured out, which is why we are very thankful for curl experts like yourself that know how you do it, because it can be very confusing sometimes, especially for us anyways. But
what's your star sign, by the way?
Pardon?
What's your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay, so you're August or July?
August.
August or what?
The 9th.
Oh, that's my dad's birthday.
Is it? Oh wow,
I love me a Leo. You guys are very cool people. You don't hear a lot about Leos though. It's not like you're on the radar of like, stay away from Leos. Like, you guys are just chill people. You're in your own worlds. I like Leos.
What sign are you?
I'm a Gemini. So I am the sign that people are like, ew, Geminis.
No, I know a lot of people say that and they're like, oh, I don't like Geminis. But honestly, a lot of my friends are Geminis and I love them all. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that sign, but that is super cool, and that I have the same birthday as your dad. That is super
Someone
cool.
else's birthday.
Somebody just commented, I'm the 9th. There's a lot of Leos in the house right now. Okay, let's come through with the Leos. Somebody said my birthday is the 9th of August as well.
I see. All famous people and most musicians and rappers are Geminis. So there we go.
The certain signs just go with certain career paths or the way they perform, which is super interesting. But thank you all for commenting down your signs. That is super cool to see. But for sure, that is super cool. Very weird coincidence, especially too. But where can we find you on social media to keep up with your journey, and if we want to pre-order your book before it comes out in April?
The link to pre-order is in my bio, and you can find me at Nia the Light on everything, from Instagram to Twitter and YouTube.
Amazing. I can't wait for the book to come out. It's in exactly 3 weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's been a massive process for you, especially so for people to kind of finally have it in front of them. That's going to be a very big experience for you, so I can't wait to see that and how people are going to obviously react to the book, especially too. But this has been a wonderful conversation with you. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having
being
me.
here.
I haven't done a live in so long, but thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, and keep doing amazing videos and amazing content, and just keep going. I don't know if you want to be a journalist or like you want to go into interviews, but just keep at it, because you're really good at it, and it comes so naturally. So yeah, just keep going. You're gonna go
Thank
far.
you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
That means so much to me. So everybody, obviously, make sure to, you know, keep in mind the Book of Light coming out in April. It's super exciting. So make sure to mark it down in your diaries or pre-order it now, especially. But yes, this has just been so lovely to speak to you and to obviously hear about your curly hair journey, and it's just really inspiring to see and incredibly encouraging as well. So can't wait to see what you were doing today. That's going to the massive announcement. I'm super excited for that as well. But it has obviously been an honor speaking to you, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, but I'm gonna awkwardly reach over.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye. So that is the end of this interview. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Yes, I am saving the live. Do not worry. I always say these interviews, I would not miss them for the world for you guys to rewatch them. This will be up on my IGTV later. Make sure to share it to your friends and family. If anybody who has curly hair or who needs some curly hair tips or inspiration or confidence, you know, tag them in the comments of this IGTV video, IGTV live, and let them hear into this conversation. But thank you all so much for tuning in today and for sending in your lovely and brilliant questions. Make sure to go and follow Nia on her YouTube channel, her Instagram. Stay tuned for that announcement and obviously her book release, which is all very exciting. But if you'd like to see more of my interviews with more amazing people just like her, they are all available either here on my IGTV or on my YouTube channel, which is Inspiring Vanessa. If you're listening to this right now on a podcast, then check out our other interviews. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, then subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you were here right now on Instagram with us, right here on live, thank you for being here and taking the time out of your day, your evening, to be here with us. But thank you all so much for tuning in today, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye, everyone.